Peace, y'all. So today I wanted to talk about world schooling, what that means for us, what a typical day looks like for us, and what like last week looked like for us. So to give you more insight into our process and our way of doing this thing. So first I want to start off by and I just realized like there's a world map up there. Like how fucking yes, I love that. And it wasn't intentional. Like I actually wanted to be turned the other way, but the window was like making this weird light. But yeah, so I first wanted to start off by explaining, defining what world schooling is to us, because we actually did. We sat down and created that definition for ourselves and what that meant for us and our needs and our expectations out of this experience. Um, and there are buku like definitions on the internet about what world schooling is, but like I said, this is our um, definition. And it's not really like a definition as in like a sentence, a mission statement or something like that. It's just kind of broken down into components. And right now we have three, but we're constantly building on that. And so it could be completely different next week, next month, next year. Who knows? But one is we are adventure centered. So I say it that way because world schooling can make it sound like we are always traveling the world and we're here and there, and maybe that we don't even have a place to call home. But for us, that's not the case. One, we actually will always pretty much have a home base. So right now, our home base is in Maryland, part of the DMV. We always have a home base, and then yeah, we do our travels and whatnot, come back to our home base. Second, I don't, world schooling is not necessarily say like maybe we're in Puerto Rico here now, and then we're in Ghana, and then we're here, and then we're here, and it's like that's beautiful, that's dope. It's not really complementing to our budget right now, so ours is more so adventure. Like we definitely will travel the world, have traveled a lot of the world, but it's more so adventures right now. So sometimes that might be like local adventures. Do a lot of that and love that. It's always something new to discover. It's always something deeper to discover in places that we've already visited. It's always near Black places. That's the one thing I love about the DMV. Like Philly, 2 hours away. New York, 4 hours away. And in between that, you have so many dope little places just around here. It's amazing. And definitely the same for Savannah too, in New Orleans. So I'm definitely looking forward to all of that. Um, Number two, we respect our body's natural rhythms, our mind, and our body, spirits, our natural rhythms. So main like what that definitely pertains to like waking up. Oh my God. So, and I'll talk about this more in when I talk about like what our typical day look like. So yeah, but we definitely honor our body's natural rhythms, and that's one of the reasons why we ain't traveling right now. So I actually wanted to be in Aruba, and but they were like, I'm exhausted, and travel exhaustion is real. I'm telling you. So yeah, we're taking a little break right now, and number three, we are choosing choice over coercion. So that's not always the case. Like, for example, yesterday we went to a film festival out in Richmond, Virginia, and we had to wake up at about 9 o'clock in the morning to get there in time. And they wasn't feeling that. But, in that case, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have a choice. So, but like, I say 85% of the time, they do have a choice. So what a typical day looks like for us. And of course, this ain't every single day, but it's like if we don't have anything to do that day, we're not traveling, we're home. Yes, what a typical day would look like for us. So I generally wake up between 7 and 8. When I wake up, I lay in bed, of course, for a while, however long I want to. But then I get up and either go to the gym, do my nature walk, do some living room workout, something like that. That's mainly what my morning is gonna look like. Kobe generally wakes up between 9 and 10. She wants her little time to herself. And then me and her usually read together. CJ usually wakes up around between 12 and 1. He gonna want his time to chill to him, to himself. And that's one thing I really, really love about the way that we school, that like we're not forced to wake up to alarm clocks and rush and get ready. Like that's what our life looked like when they were in school and I was working. So now that we're home, it's just so chill, so peaceful, very peaceful mornings. And then once he's up and with us, now the three of us are up, and so now we plan our day. we actually typically create our to-do list the night before. So like today is Sunday. Yesterday we actually didn't do it. We were so tired coming from Richmond. But typically the night before we kind of create this big to-do list of things that we know we need to do, what we want to do the following day. But once CJ get up, then we kind of time it. Okay, like we knew we want, like for example, like if the rec center is on there, right? We want to go to the rec center. By what time, y'all gonna want to go? Like we might say like, okay, it's 1:30 now, and I might say like, well, is it cool with y'all if we go around 5? Maybe they say yeah, no. We negotiate on time. We pick a time. So like that. So we time out everything that we already planned that we want to do. That's why we always joke like by the time CJ get up, I'm going to take my nap. So we kind of miss each other. So like around 1, I'm going to my room, and I call it nap time. Sometimes I take a nap, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I lay in bed, scroll social media. Sometimes I read. It's just my me time. It's me, my first one rather. So I usually come back to join everybody around about 3 o'clock. So what they doing during that time, I don't know. Probably on the game. I don't know. Between about 3 to 5. I'm getting some work done. So that's when I'm probably like, yeah, I'm on the laptop. I'm either, just organizing, writing, whatever. I'm getting some work done. After that, preparing dinner. Sometimes they help me with that. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's already agreed upon that I'm going to need help, and they've already agreed to help me with that. After dinner, we chilling. We probably watching something on TV together. Most likely Kobe picked it. She's like the first one to the remote control. We came together and wrote down all of our expectations and stuff. But in one of them for me, which they agreed to, was what we compromised on every 6 months that they would finish a book. For CJ, I forgot what exactly it was, but anyway, so he prefers that we read together, and I do most of the reading. He prefers to, it's like some people prefer audiobooks. He prefers to be read too. So we do that. So not every day, but not even most days of the week. So, after we chill, usually that's the time me and him will go read together. Usually that's around about 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere up in there. Sometimes between 9 and 10. After that, then we all kind of come together and create our to-do list for the next day. Yeah, and that's about it. And after that, I'm back off to my room for my me time for the night before I go to bed. But in between, woven in between that, even like I said, like I might be working from 3 to 5 or something like that. I still might get up, in between thoughts or something, get up and join their world. So if they're on the game, they're watching YouTube, whatever they're doing, like, join their world, see what's up, see what they're watching. Just, yeah, that's one of the parts we really all enjoy that a lot. So now you might be wondering, well, how do the kids learn? And so I wanted to share a little bit of that by sharing like what we did last week. And first of all, I want to share like the foundation, like what I believe. So I don't believe that learning has to happen like teacher and student and you listen while I talk. And then I'm gonna test you afterwards. Take notes, and like that's just not my style. It's just not our experience either. Bigger, if I just take note of how I best learn through life and how I realize they best do learn through life. Remember our natural rhythms. Then we go this route. And just so a lot of storytelling, a lot of living. One like last week was 9/11. I think it was that Monday. I don't remember. But I shared with them the story, like how I remember I was in 8th grade. My teacher came in the classroom crying, and just my evolution of my understanding of that event. Bam, so that's one. Another, so Hurricane Dorian recently just slammed the Bahamas, right? I'm not a big news channel enthusiast, so we don't really watch the news too much, but the news is everywhere. So like Lil Duval, for example, comedian, songwriter, artist, amazing dude. He's from the Bahamas. So I went to his page, found some videos, found some pictures, and we kind of talked about it from there. So like, what's the government's responsibility? Like, what should they be doing? What could they be doing? How can the people help themselves? How can you prepare? Natural disasters affecting everywhere you live, like, if you're in Cali, like earthquakes and things like that. We related it back to Hurricane Katrina, which affected our people, being from Louisiana. And I share my memories with that, and what I remembered from it, and what the government did with that, and yeah, and everything, and even Kanye West clip. Another thing we did, we reflected back on our Durham trip. So was that last week? Last week we were in Durham, North Carolina. I went down there for a conference I had to speak at, but of course we made a trip out of it. So we discussed our Durham trip. We reflected on that, looked at pictures, and yeah, and had a great discussion around that. Podcasts are another big one. So I found this. For now, like we have two. Fair of the Free Child. It's my favorite, of course. Another is it's a pod. I forgot what it's called. It's on Spotify. We listen to it. I'm pretty sure it's on Apple too. Found like we listened to some episodes on ants, how the brain works. And like yesterday, we listened to one on like when you're nervous, like what's going on in your body. We mainly listen to them like when we're driving for more than an hour. And when you're in a DMV, most of your trips are probably going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. Another example. So yesterday when we were on the highway on the way to Richmond, Virginia, which ended up being about a 2.5 hour trip, I was listening to one of my favorite artists from New Orleans. Her name 3D Nati. And so in between songs, I might pause it, turn it down, and say like, can you guess where she from? Got that right. And this is a little bit of context for this song. So, her father committed suicide. Her mother was on drugs for a while. So just breaking it down and giving a little, and then, come back around. Now this is what she's talking about. So she actually purchases properties, fix them up, resells them. That's called flipping houses. People do that. So it's like a lot of lessons built on into that. Another one, reading. Kobe loved to read together. We read together too. She do a chapter, I do a chapter. CJ don't care for reading. He don't mind being read too. He don't care for reading. But yeah, so that's another intentional learning comes in at. Last week we also went to the Richmond Film Festival. Typically they don't care to go to film festivals with me. This particular one, they had to, mainly because the 2 hour drive it would take to get there, the 2 hours back, the time spent there, I would have been gone like all day, and I wasn't sure if I would have ended up wanting to spend the night, so they came with me. But a plus on top of that, this particular one had at one of the venues, it was sorted out at different venues. At one of the venues, it was just films by teenagers, black teenagers, and mixed in there too, it was some films by adults that were just about black teenagers. Oh, it was so beautiful. That was dope. And so, and around that, it was held in a gallery too. So of art by teens. So we got to go around. We looked at the art, talked about the art. And a lot of times it would be me like pointing stuff out. Like, look at that one. Like, oh, that says you and me. Like, can you see? Can you make out you? Or I might say something like, look at that one. Like, I want to make something like that at home. And like CJ be like, make it then. And so I'd be like, I want to. Like, what you think that's made out of? And how did they put that in there? And, so those are some ways that we get that in there. And then we watched the films. After the films, it was like, oh, this sister led these really great discussions around them. She did a wonderful job. And so opened up the floor. My children didn't speak, but I love that they got the opportunity to hear other children. A lot of them, my son's age, speak up about it. And not only speak about it, but speaking about their peers' work, a lot of times their own work. And these are like films that they produce themselves on their cell phones. It was so good. It was so good. Then today is like Sunday and we just resting, we just chilling. But that's us. I hope that I answered the question. If you were curious to know how we rock, how this thing go for us, I hope I answered that for you, cleared that up for you. So, much love. Peace.